And we are live. Welcome, everyone. I don't have a normal live stream, but occasionally we do some special ones. And we've got a special one today. If you see, we've got a whole big wad of guys down there. 4 of them, and they had 10 kids running around earlier. But these are the guys from the Brothers Groom. We're going to be talking about their products and their new release coming up in just a minute. And then over to is it my left or my right? I always get this thing backwards. Is my good friend and a fellow teacher, Barbado Joe. You put Groom on the end. I should put Groom on the end of mine.
I'm all in. I'm all in tonight.
You're all in. So Joe and I both have tried some of their Brothers Groom's products, and we both have one of their new butters to talk about tonight. And we may do a giveaway or two. So you guys stay with me here. Who do we have? We got Emo. We got Iowa Beard Company. We got Beard Swag. We got Ryan C., who I know has tried some of those products. I saw Beard Times with Scott, the Bearded Zebra. Thank you guys so much for joining us. And let me throw it over to the Brothers Groom for a couple minutes here. You guys introduce yourself, tell us where you're from, and whatever you want to do there, and Joe and I will jump in.
Hey, thanks, Brian. We appreciate you hosting us tonight. And Joe, thanks for joining us. We are excited to share with both of you. We certainly appreciate what both of you guys do for us and for the bearded community. So we are the Brothers Groom. There's 4 of us, and we top the scales, as Brian was trying to tell you, with the big group of guys. So not only hefty in number, but also in size. And so certainly, viewers, thanks for joining in. I'm not sure what's going to happen in this next hour, but we promise to be entertaining nonetheless. So we are the Brothers Groom. My name's Matthew.
Hey, I'm Austin. I'm Jeremy. Hey, I'm Gary Heidenbach.
And we are the Brothers Groom. We're from Southern Indiana. So that's where we come in our live from right here.
There's a space here in this bearded community that I think we found really interesting, with Brian and people like Barbado Joe really taking us in as new guys on the scene. We appreciate that, but it's just, as much as making good product to share with everybody, it's just neat to have found this little subculture that's going on that's really supportive of each other. You don't find that just everywhere in life. And we've really enjoyed that. I don't know if you guys feel the same way about it or not.
Absolutely do. It's kind of weird if, people who aren't familiar with it, you try to tell them and they just don't get it. But I know, Joe, I've heard you put it into words a couple of times about kind of getting into the community and kind of how you did that and kind of the niche that's here. You want to speak just a minute about that, and we'll get into some products.
Yeah. I just, as I'm sure you guys have found out, I work with guys on either side of me in my hall within 10 feet that wear beards at certain times of the year. And last year when I started, neither of them had even heard of product, any kind of product. So sometimes I think just educating dudes is a great thing to do, let alone anything else. But after I got started in here, it's just really, really cool to see. When you were talking about where else in the world do you see companies that will wear each other's gear, will wear each other's stuff, and support the other company and say, yeah, I'm in business, but XYZ also makes some good stuff. And the same with reviewers, when Brian launched his what did you call the series, Brian, with the beard tips?
Beard Advice series?
When Brian launched his Beard Advice series last spring going into summer, is that about right?
Yep.
I saw one of those episodes and I went, holy cow. And I had a different live than I do now, but I'm like, you guys need to get on Brian's Beard Advice. It's a great little show he's got going there. So, and then we wind up knowing each other, reviewers and owners and guys like Ryan C., who Brian mentioned in the chat. Ryan C. is the reason I bought you guys. I'd seen Tyson do you. I'd seen Brian do you. You were on my list. And then Ryan C. and I, who have very similar taste, he gave me that nudge with Malone's. He's like, you got to try this stuff. And I'm like, all right, that's what I needed. And then there you go.
Yeah, that's what is so fascinating about the bearded community, the brotherhood, if you will. And, we stumbled into this by accident, really. We were just sitting around one night kind of chatting and dreaming, and we just said, hey, we should do this. We were growing beards, and it's become a thing. And then we got to working with other owners and different reviewers, and certainly we've just shared within that community. And so we don't see ourselves as competing per se and trying to talk bad about anybody else. We certainly want to lift those companies up, and we've done some trades and we purchase products from other places, and certainly always encourage that amongst the bearded community and our customers. And it's neat. You know, we do online. We're at brothersgroom.com, but we also do local festivals here in Indiana. And so it's fascinating to talk to those people that never heard of any beard product. And we were one of those guys, and some of us not long ago. And, you know, you talked about beards, and we'll tell a little bit more about who we are. But one time in our profession, you know, beards were shamed, if you will, and certainly weren't permitted. But very, very much so now has become more customary. And so myself, I'm in education just like you two fellas, and certainly working with students, the whiskers stand out. And so it's kind of fun.
It is fun. Yeah. So you got a couple guys in education here. That's another reason I wanted to bring Joe in is Joe teaches 10th grade mostly, and it's English.
10th English, and then 12th. I teach a 12th film class to my.
I didn't know if you had one of those this year or not. I knew you had one last year. That's very cool to do an elective like that. And I'm a high school math teacher. And then, guys, why don't you tell us what you do when you're not doing beard products?
Sure. So you already know about Matthew. So Matthew and I are both principals. So Matthew does high school. I'm a middle school principal, and it's kind of perfect for me because I'm 12-year-old in my spirit. So I get to hang out with my people all day long. It's ideal, but I love it. The thing is, I don't have the good beard like these guys. I can't, if I grow it too much, I look like I have mange. So what I try to do is just have a nice, you know, just a little bit here. And then you have, you know, like this thing is unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's like the progression of how a beard is supposed to go. You start with this, right? And then you get into this lovely thing. And then it becomes this, and then when you get old and it's gray, it looks like that.
Yeah, I can relate to that.
Yeah.
All beards are welcome in this community, that's for sure.
I've got this gray patch going here too.
You guys may not be able to see on camera, but this is a red beard.
Yes,
we can tell.
That is the red beard right there. So
mine is too when we're out in the sunshine for sure.
Oh yeah.
Now, brothers, I had a question for you, because you guys go from, and let's be honest, because I like being honest. I would assume not the majority of your sales come from Instagram. It might be these like shows and things you do, but you come from Instagram, which may be the most learned bearded sub community out there, as far as guys that know their stuff and exchange ideas, info. And then you go out to a show where you might meet every other guy or even more doesn't even know about this stuff. So what's that kind of culture shock like when you go from one to the other?
You know, it is. There is certainly a following on Instagram, and everybody knows so much about everybody else as far as, you know, new releases and product sends. And they've also become customary to knowing which products they like, which feel of oil is important to them, or what they like in a butter, or what they're looking for in a balm or a wax. Whereas at the show, it's all about sniffing. You know, online, there's no sniff test. We're trusting you guys and whatever you say about what these things smell like, you know. And so, but right there at the table in the tent at the festival, with the music going on in the background, you know, they're putting their nose right into the product, and we encourage them to lather up and put it in, and get the whole experience right there. So there is a difference, you know, as far as that. And kind of what you get in the Instagram culture, I think, is, you know, guys like us, you know, that are in tune with the tech. But there's so many more bearded guys out there than those on the Instagram, if you will.
Yeah.
So
You run into those a lot of times at festivals that, you know, like we've done a couple music festivals, booths there. And, you know, you get guys that some of them are just, you know, country guys. They're for the music, and, you know, they've had beards all their lives, but they've never thought about conditioning, anything like that.
Well, yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it is interesting, especially when you're in these in-person situations where people may have had beard for years, but they just don't know anything about beard products.
And we have a lot of ladies that are like our mother's age and older, up to our grandmother's ages, that'll come right up and want to stick their nose right in your beard. I mean, what are you wearing today, honey? Let me smell it. And right in the color.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's cool. Sometimes it's really awkward.
True.
Ladies doing it. Now, I would be one of the guys doing it. When I met Running Man, I'm telling you, when I met Running Man and I gave him a hug, the first thing that came to my mind was like, damn, his beard smells good today.
Yeah. Well, we all have that guy in our life. There's no doubt about it, right, Bill? He knows I'm talking to him.
Yeah.
And so, what's interesting, Joe, you had mentioned the bearded community online and kind of the brotherhood, everybody's taking care of each other. One of the things unique about beards, too, that you pick up is just when you're out and about, people comment on your beard. Especially those fellow beardsmen.
Yeah.
So when we marketed our business cards, right there on the back of it, we put "nice beard," because they're so easy just to hand them and talk to someone about that.
Yeah, I love that. I love that logo. One quick minor follow up, because when you guys were talking about that, the men you're encountering at these shows, what would you say the percentage is? I ain't going to try that sissy stuff to, that sounds kind of interesting.
So I'll actually tell you a story. Years ago, I was in a health, like Whole Foods kind of place. It's a local place, but it's something like that. And I came across beard oil, and I remember at the time thinking, who puts beard oil in their beard? What has the world come to? And now I love it.
Yeah.
Men aren't men anymore, damn.
Can't live without it.
And
I think we've all been there.
We did a festival in my hometown about 30 miles south of here last summer. And so I saw a lot of guys my age, middle, late 40s, and even up to 60 that I've known my whole life, have worn beards forever, that were very receptive to coming and smelling it and enjoying it and talking about it. The percentage of people that just turn up their noses and say, that's sissy stuff, as stereotypically, it wasn't very high. Now,
Good.
I don't think that we sold a huge high percentage to those guys, but they were very receptive to talking about it.
That's good. Hey, little steps, man, right?
Yeah. Now, Joe, those guys you're talking about, they probably didn't stop. They cruised on by to go get the cookies down the show line.
But I was just thinking, like, you guys are just hanging out and you get that like double take from the bearded dude and that furring of the brows. Like, what the hell is this, Martha?
Yeah.
And I'm like the bearded zebra. He says, I can't imagine life without beard oil now. And I think we're all kind of the same way.
I'd say
because I think we could chat for an hour straight here. Let's talk about the products for just a minute. I'm going to put up your Etsy site here and kind of scroll through, and then maybe we'll go through each of your scents that each of you guys came up with, because I think each one you guys came up with a scent on your own. Is that right?
That's right.
All right, cool. So here we go. So let me scroll through this. So they've got an Etsy site right now, and they do have oils and balms, and now tonight for the first time, butters. So let's scroll through this. So Leather Mint and Ridge is their newest mainline scent. And then they've got Canadian Outpost, Malone's Irish Pub, and I'm missing one. Feels Like Summer, which is the one I wore today. So those were the main ones. And then you had the Santa's Secret Stash, which smells like Santa's
Did they have the
cookies.
big one? Oh, there it is. There it is.
We got the candy stripes. And then we've got all of this nice swag here. Some of the best swag in the business. And by the way, the prices on these is $14.99 for an oil. And then this is free shipping on everything. So you don't have to buy a bunch to get to the free shipping. If you want to try out something, you can absolutely go for it. So balm is $16.99. And then the new 2-ounce butter is $16.99. So I want to get that out of the way. And then we can start diving into the scents a little bit.
Thank you, Brian.
Does that sound okay?
That sounds great. We've got to share with you more. Now, we've got free shipping every day, every order.
Love it.
So when you think about that price point, don't forget that includes free shipping straight from our headquarters to your front porch. And so that's certainly one of the things that we strive to do is that customer service. And we try to interact as much as we can with the people using them. So, Brian, you mentioned that we come together. We are all mixologists. And so we each four, we're best friends. Our families are best friends. We spend a lot of time together, both talking about beards and talking about non-beard things. And so when we started this journey, which was really a dream, we each kind of have a unique role that we bring to the Brothers Groom. And so we each kind of isolate in that area. But together, we love crafting the scents and sharing the scents. And so when we launched this spring, right in May, in April, we did a Brothers Groom retreat. So we took all our families. We went to a lake cabin and spent the entire weekend together.
And that's a lot of kids. I saw them earlier.
We were a bunch of kids.
They had their separate cabin up.
Yeah.
Still not make that money back.
And so
we still didn't come back with all the kids either. Some of them are still out there, I think.
But there we all teamed up and we had this idea that we're going to craft our own scent. And so that's where it started, and naturally it's gone through the development stage with sharing and everybody else like that. So we each 4 of us come up with kind of a signature scent. And so that's where you see the main 4. And then obviously we're adding more in all the time. We ran the specials, like you said. So you
showed me a couple of testers of some different things too.
We got more out there.
Yeah, let's go through one at a time here. What was the very first scent?
So one of the first scents we launched was Canadian Outpost. And so
I wore that one yesterday. Love it. One of the best woodsy scents on the market.
It is a woodsy. It's got a powerful cologne-like scent, meaning it's going to last all day. It's teak wood, sandalwood, little sage, a little smoke, little vanilla in there. It is complex. It smells throughout the day. You can get those different layers of whiffs. That's certainly been one of the popular ones that's been out there the most, and it certainly turns a lot of heads.
Yeah, and it's more on the kind of the evergreen side. Is not pine, but you get a little bit of a light note. I don't know if there's any kind of mint or eucalyptus or something maybe in it. There's something that kind of makes it a little bit lighter, but then it's also got a little cologne vibe to it.
Yeah, that sage is what kind of brings both of those elements in there. So that's available in our oil. That's available in our balm. And that's also going to be available in our butter, our Groom butter that's launched now. With our balm, I'll also mention before we move to the next guy about scents is it's really a medium to light hold. It's a conditioning balm more than anything. So it's going to keep the flyaways toned down, but also at the same time, it's going to keep your beard feeling soft and hydrated.
Yeah, and that little hint of the smoke in there, somebody would have to tell you that there's smoke in it, but then it's like, oh yeah, I kind of smell everything cooking together.
Just in the bag, just kind of lingering in the back there.
Before we do the next scents, how about let's do the ingredients, so folks, if they want to go ahead and order, they'll kind of know about the scent, the ingredients, and I'll mention and fill in beard, and we'll get Joe to chime in, and we'll go through some more scents. How about on the oil? We got our ingredients here, or is it the same one that what I've got? I can just read them off.
Well, no, we can talk about them. So, naturally, when we started crafting it, all of our beard oils come in this Premier Carrier blend, and so that is a combination of jojoba, sweet almond, grapeseed, argan, castor, and vitamin E oil.
Yeah, and it's a nice medium weight oil. And it's interesting. I wore the Feels Like Summer today, and you put it in your beard and it doesn't feel instantly soft. It takes a little while for it to go in. And then as you go through hour 2 and hour 3 and hour 4, it kept getting softer for me. And unlike the butter's got some coconut oil in it. You put that in, it feels instantly soft. So if you're doing oil and butter, I think you might be getting the best of both worlds if you're an oil butter person.
Yeah.
And go ahead and do the ingredients in the butter, and then we'll talk about another scent maybe.
Okay, so with the balm, it's that same Carrier blend of oils with shea butter and also beeswax in our conditioning medium hold balm. Now, when we go with the new butters, and so we've kind of customized a new blend for this, and so you'll see the ingredients on the backside. And we've got a combination of shea, cocoa, and mango butters make up the consistency of this butter, along with coconut oil. And then also there's jojoba and vitamin E and argan oil in here as well. Now, we do put just a pinch, and I mean just a pinch of beeswax in there. So just enough to bring a little bit of body. What we will talk about, but it's a soft, solid pour butter.
It is very super soft, and I could not tell it had wax in it at all. Could you, Joe?
I saw that on the ingredients list. I was like, where?
Yeah, it's just a hint in there, just to bring a little bit of body to it. As far as that goes. But
I put way too much in my beard 2 days ago when I first got it, because it's one of those poured butters, and you need maybe just a
little dab
a pea size amount. And I put in like it was a whipped butter, and I put way too much. It was nice, but I put way too much. Joe, you want to talk just a minute about feeling beard for the oil and butter and whatever else you've tried, and we'll go into another scent.
Yeah. So the one thing I bought was the Malone's Irish Pub on Ryan's recommendation, and then the guys are generous enough to throw me in a couple of their, at the time, new scents. They've now both since been released, or maybe 214 was out when I did the review. I can't remember if it was or wasn't. And also some leather stuff, which we can talk about later. But the feel in beard is top notch. What was interesting was when I tried Groom's, is I hadn't seen too many reviews on them, but I respect Brian and I respect Tyson, which is why they got on the list. But I just needed that little nudge, and I'm so glad I did, because I love the Malones. Now, for you leather heavy guys, the Malones, and the idea behind this is it's kind of got like it's supposed to give you like a bar vibe, like the vibe of being in a bar. That leather is what's going to come out and stay forward. And it's probably right at my boundary, because I like leather, but I don't like going in leather too much. So it's definitely leather forward, but you get those other notes that are in there, okay? So that was a really, really cool, unique scent. And then they gave the 214, which was chocolate and strawberry, guys, raspberry?
Strawberry,
which, as I said in my review, was about as perfect for me, because I'm not a big chocolate guy. The chocolate is rich but not sweet. Strawberry cuts in there. It's a really beautiful design on the scent. And then I don't know how you guys came up with Leather Mint Ridge, because I would never, ever think of pairing leather and mint. And again, for those of you who watched me for a year, you're talking about mint, which I'm not a fan of, and leather, which I already described. And you guys put that together, and it was amazing. It was an amazing smell. So when you're looking at that profile out there, if you're like, what the heck, like I was, if you like leather and mint, or even if you just like one of them, because that's all I did, get that thing. It's heavy. It's got like a kind of a deeper base to it, but that mint really just lifts it. And it's just this really kind of unique, cool, but with body scent, which I really dig, because mints usually are cool and sharp, and the leather in there really kind of brings that mint back down a little bit. And that's what I think makes it so enjoyable for me.
Can you tell that Joe is a scent guy? I can tell that Joe's a scent. And by the way, in case you guys were wondering, at least for me, Joe, you chime in. To me, these scents are relatively on the stronger side. I would say it's a little bit more than medium. It's not super duper strong, but it's an all day kind of scent.
Good. Yeah. And and I like what you were talking about earlier with the softness. I will say the Malones, because it is the leather forward, feels like the boldest of those three, for sure. But man, that 214, that is date night. That is get a room with your wife with a jacuzzi tub night. That is that kind of scent. Right?
Joe.
Yeah, Joe.
That's like that kind of scent. And the Leather Mint Ridge, I mean, it feels like we're kind of starting to get out of winter, although it hasn't been a bad one in Western PA. While it feels a bit like a winter scent, it also feels like it could transition many seasons because of the way it feels. I love them all.
Yeah. Hey, we appreciate that, Joe. So, Austin, tell us about Malone's Irish Pub.
Well, you hit on it a little bit with that feel of walking into an old Irish pub. So that logo on there is actually my family crest. So my last name is Malone.
That's awesome.
Malone's Irish Pub goes through. So I've got good memories of with these guys spending time, in a kind of a mahogany setting, sipping a whiskey or whatever. There's some cool places in Indianapolis that we had gone in the past. And so when we were kind of cultivating this stuff, that's the stuff, that image that I wanted to bring was, sitting down, having a nice conversation, and you can kind of see that mahogany wood. You can smell the pipe smoke or the cigar smoke in the air, and you can taste the whiskey. So it's kind of like it's a very personal scent for me with my Irish roots. So we love it.
And I would say that 2 years ago, I went to Ireland and went to an Irish pub or two. And you definitely can smell a very at least for me, it was very similar. The dark, the everything was the bar, everything was wooden and smelling like a wood smoke way in the back, and then getting a little bit of leather in the whiskey. It really does paint a picture. It's that complex. And on my video, I kind of compared it in a way to the 1912, and I hate to mention other companies, but just to give some guys who have got a little bit of perspective, they can kind of compare how complex that was.
Yeah.
It paints a picture. To me, that one paints a picture of like a general store kind of vibe to it. And this one paints a picture of an Irish pub, and it's is really complex. I know Ryan C., he tried it, and he said it was one of the best scents he's tried.
I wanted to say one other thing too, guys, because you know, you have whiskey and you have tobacco and stuff, but when you're talking about, in my opinion, when you decided to go Irish pub, what I really think the scent does, if we're going to say conjuring memories, is there's something about an Irish pub, even though it might be a little dark, a little dusty, a little banged up, a little loved, but it brings that conviviality, that friendliness. You might hear the band playing, you know, the folk music. So there's a very comfy atmosphere about it. And even though it's leather forward, that's why I think I really dug it, because you made the set so complex that it's not overpowering. Like any person who might say, I'm not a friend of that, it's okay. You'll get it, but it won't hang out for the whole time, right? And so it's kind of friendly in that regard to the wearer as well.
Yeah.
Yes, we appreciate that. And certainly, you know, that layering is important to us. And so we all participate in the product development of these things. And I was joking with another friend, telling them, they were asking me, how do I do this? And it's almost embarrassing to say, but I keep a log throughout the day. And so I'll start sniffing around at 9 o'clock after I put it in beard. You know, and then again at 9 and 11, and then, you know, in the afternoon, you go to you just put a little comb through, and then you start getting more vibes out of that. And so it's always what it is.
That's why we call him the CEO.
Hey, Gary, tell us more about that Leathermint Ridge.
Yeah,
I don't have that one to show.
It's at work because I'm putting it in my diffuser.
Oh, that's great. Hey, my business, I do e-commerce. I'm in business with a bunch of my Amish buddies, and we actually source and do handcrafted leather and ship it all over the world. So all the leather stuff we do is out of my other company, and just all kinds of fun stuff. We specialize in swag and tool belts and all kinds of stuff. AmishLeatherworks.com for a plug on that. But I spend my life in leather, and mint is my very favorite tea. It's one of my favorite smells. My aunt grew it outside the back door when I was growing up. And so leather mint, I just wanted to try those two together. And yeah, there's another piece of swag Brian's got. We hand cut and engrave all kinds of leather things. But I live up on a big, tall ridge. Yeah, those cedar beard combs. Hey, Brian, I'll tell you about that thing. One of my Amish buddies that runs a cedar mill, that's air-dried Indiana cedar that's cut in an Amish mill. And then we take it to another Amish friend a county over, and he actually cuts those combs for us. Then they go back to the leather shop, and my Amish buddies put leather to make it a case. And then if you get the cedar sachets, that's actually the shavings from when they make these combs for us, come right out of the Amish mill. So it's all handcrafted top to bottom. Pretty neat stuff for our pack, and we like that. Hey, that stuff's good for like put it in your drawers, keep the mice away.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of them in the closet. It's great. You don't get packing peanuts. You don't get cardboard confetti. You get this packed in there. And
I was growing up on those things before I ever got to your guys' oil. I was sniffing it. I just love those things.
Oh, yeah. And so I live up on a big old ridge, one of the highest points in our part of southern Indiana, land that had come into my family in the 1820s and that I'm back in possession of now.
Wow.
And it's Leathermint Ridge. And, you know, you pick up that leather and that mint, and underneath it, what's carrying it is clove. And that's kind of a smell, that richness you get out of the Amish kitchens when you're walking around at the farms. And I just thought leather mint and then that clove to kind of carry that richness underneath it. And so that's what you're catching in there, Joe. On that.
Okay. Another weird one for me, that adding that to the mix was like also kind of bizarre, but boy, does it work.
Yeah, that's just right out of the Amish bakeries. That's where that idea came.
Yeah.
Now I'm wanting to try.
Every one of the scents that we've created certainly is personal to us in some fashion.
Yeah.
That tells the story. So, Jeremy, tell us about Feels Like Summer.
Feels like summer. Yeah. Well, I love summer. I complain about winter all winter long.
Yes, he does.
Everyone hears it all the time. So I wanted something in the winter that would remind me of summer. So it has a citrus, specifically grapefruit scent, and it bounced out a little bit with some vanilla. Really love it. It's named after my favorite Childish Gambino song, which has a really cool kind of kind of groove to it, and Austin really captured that well in that label. So yeah, it's a good citrus scent that will last all day.
One of my favorite citrus scents. It does last all day, and it's I get kind of I compared it in my video to Sunny Delight, the drink that I used to drink by the gallon when I was in middle school. But if you look at Sunny Delight, it's got all of the citrus in it, and that's what I get with this. I get kind of orange and grapefruit and maybe just a hint of lime in it. You kind of get all of the citruses mixed together.
Yeah, so it's that grapefruit dominant, but then has a little lemon, a little lime, a little kick of mandarin orange in it.
I put that oil in every night before dinner. That's my nighttime oil for around the house.
I think you need butter in that one too.
Yeah.
Hey.
And Jeremy's a CPA by profession. So
yeah,
he's our CFO.
He's the money man.
He's
the money man.
Yeah, he's the one that's always telling us no, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we appreciate, Brian, you saying we need a butter in that. Yes, we do. Right, Dad?
I just wanted to say one thing real quick for Austin. In Western Pennsylvania, we have a lot of Amish. They're more known in the East in Lancaster, but where I live, I'm close to a lot of Amish. And out here, they're really known for furniture and cooked goods. But let me tell you something. If he is working with Amish, these guys don't half-ass, pardon my French, they don't half-ass anything. They give you quality. Like, you know how things break 2 or 3 years, but your grandma's fridge probably lasted 40 or 50? These guys do amazing stuff, and it's always top of the line. I got the leather key thingy, and I got a bracelet that if you put essential oil on it, it's an aromatherapy bracelet, which I thought was way amazing and cool. It's knotted or braided, I should say. It looks really cool. So if you're a leather person, and I started following the leather company, and the posts are just gorgeous, and the amount of different things that they do. I would also, you got the there it is. There's that lovely bracelet. You got the Brother Groom's oil, but that leather stuff, I've tried it. Well, I have some firsthand, and I know the Amish firsthand. So I know it's going to be great stuff as well.
Yeah,
I've been eyeing one of those guitar straps too. He's got some nice guitar.
Brian, you send me your address. I'll get you one going. We have some good elk leather right now. Hey, Joe, those bracelets, one of the interesting things about those is those are braided in the evenings by a couple of my Amish families, my buddies that we work with, the ladies, when the evening kind of sets in and they're sitting around by lamplight, those are braided, and they call them an infinity weave. It's just one piece of leather, and they weave them there in their laps at night. So a great story comes with that stuff. And the beard oil goes in them great.
I tell you what, guys, I'm having a great time. It's great to talk with you and just to hear the labor of love that went into it. These guys have spent a lot of time coming up with these scents. They're not just kind of coming out with scents every week. So this is, I like the pace that you guys are on and the way you're doing things. You seem to be doing it the right way. What do you want to talk about next?
We appreciate
talk about this butter.
Hey, let's butter up.
All right, so I'm gonna try and get you guys to catch this.
I got the oil, Joe. Look.
Oh, nice. All right, so you can kind of see. Now let's talk about this real quickly. You can see the furrows I put in. Now, if you look at those two furrows,
if you touch it, it might just liquefy on you.
It looks very granulated, but it isn't at all. Mm-hmm. Not at all. In fact, like Brian was suggesting, and I can't touch it too hard because pressure. I mean, look at how my finger just goes in when I really touch it. All right? And you can already see it wet. Basically, I was telling the guys in the green room ahead of time. Basically, what they have found to do is when you're looking at my furrow, there's little beads of oil popping out of it. So this is a solid that is one hot breath from going to a liquid. I mean, there it is in my hand. I haven't rubbed or anything. I just wiped it from finger to hand, and look at it. It's already melting down. All right. So it looks like it's granular. It isn't. It's super duper soft. They mentioned the beeswax. Where, I don't know, but they're
just a pinch. Just a pinch.
Like the old school commercials, right? And it feels absolutely gorgeous. I wanted to tell you guys, usually when I do my stuff, I wash, dry, and then add. But because I was coming on live, I wanted to wash, add the butter, and then dry and see if I saw any major differences. What I did note that I really like was the softness of beard after the dry. Since I'm not used to doing it that way, and I may start doing that with oils and such. I know you're supposed to put oil on wet beard, but yeah, and I'm just like, I've been touching my beard all night. It is a great bleeping butter. And I know you hear people keep saying it for different companies, but I'm here to tell you, it is a great bleeping butter. And I'm going to give you one more look, see if you can catch that oil. My camera on my laptop isn't going to. There you can see the sheen, though. See how the light catches that? See that? It looks wet. It looks like a pie surface or something.
Looks like snow.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. It does look like snow.
Hey, Joe, can you put great bleeping butter on our description?
Yeah. That's free. That's my swag back to you.
Hey,
By the way, now let's talk about the scent. So this is one of my favorite scents because I'm a peppermint guy, but this is, to me, I get more vanilla than peppermint. So it's like one of these old stick candy, this chalky candy that's vanilla peppermint sticks. So I get mostly like a double shot of vanilla and then the peppermint with it, and it's a great nighttime butter. I like the oil. I got it around Christmas. They released it, and I kept begging them and said, "Guys, you need to make this into butter. That's going to be great for a nighttime kind of deal."
Yeah, it's one of those scents that would work lovely as a wash, co-wash. It works lovely as a butter because it's a nice nighttime scent. And Brian's right. I might get more mint than he does, but there is a creaminess to it. You know, that vanilla really imparts a creaminess to where it's very confectionery-like, very almost desserty.
You know, one of the difficult things to do is to describe peppermint. When you watch some things, you know, we've all had that tingly peppermint feel.
That's not this.
Where it's too much. This isn't that. You get very much the aromatic feel of the peppermint. You know, it really is invigorating. You know, that smell. You know, you put it in, you lay down on your pillow, and it's there. But at the same time, that tone, that sweetness of that Candy Stripes is really just kind of playing it down. That vanilla.
And add a little bit of local color. The Candy Stripes is a nod to Indiana basketball.
Yeah, the Hoosiers.
The warm up pants.
Yeah, those old school stripes. Well, they had them. Yeah, they used to wear those stripes. That's awesome. Because I immediately think Nurse, of course, but
yeah. So it originally was released as one of our temporary holiday scents and just an oil. But we loved it so much, and I started using it at night and thought, boy, this does need a butter. And of course, Brian's been beating the banjo as far as the butter goes. And so there it was.
Beating the banjo. That's a new one.
That needs to be on a bottle somewhere too. Brian's beating the banjo.
I just wanted to synopsize this real quick, by the way. And now I want to try the summer one because I love citrus, but I never get it because it never lasts. All right. But I love grapefruit on top of it. So that'll be coming. So for recap, Malone's leather forward. I don't like a lot of leather forward things. Awesome. I don't like peppermint. Love the smell of this. I don't know how mint and leather freaking work. All right. It should be like cross species. Amazing. And I don't like chocolate and strawberry that much. So basically what Brothers Groom did is, here, Joe, we're going to throw 4 cents at you that you're going to have a problem somewhere in some way in each one of these. And I wound up liking them all. So now I'm just waiting like, well, shoot, what happens when they start getting into my wheelhouse? What it says to me is that when you guys are mixing this stuff and you're taking this time and thinking about it, that people may, and this is to all our listeners, if you see a profile that you're not wild about, but the rest seems good, give it a shot because these guys know what they're doing with the mixing and everything is complex. And that's 4 cents I shouldn't have liked or should have had problems with, that I had problems with none of them.
Well, you sound like me, Joe. I've been contemplating making a video about to never say never when it comes to a scent profile, and just like, okay, I didn't think I liked this scent profile, but then I hear somebody's oil or whatever that I actually like. So that's pretty cool. So I'm saying you need to get these two, Joe. You need these two.
Yeah.
And Brian, what don't you have? We need to get out to you what you've not tried yet.
I haven't tried the Leather Mint Ridge.
Maybe we get that stuff in the mail to these guys this week.
Nice.
If Dad will let us give some free stuff away,
Please.
we can get that stuff out to you.
Speaking of free stuff, who wants something? That's what we're talking
Who's ready
about.
for a giveaway?
This is where the audience pipes up.
I mean, we want to give you guys back. We appreciate you coming in. We're trying to follow along with the comments, but well, this video thing, as you can tell by our placement of where we're going, it's brand new.
You're all looking into the black hole. There is what it looks like.
Yeah, well, there's a whole lot of us back here, so
Something well featured.
we certainly want to give some things away, so we can get to that here in this last 20 minutes, and then also follow us on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter. We're posting on those profiles, and we're going to have some giveaways coming up in March. Certainly to celebrate spring and
Birthday,
Austin's birthday,
obviously.
and things like that. And so we are excited to hopefully get some of this product out to you. Hopefully, you
please make sure you guys go on and talk about them on Instagram and share their posts.
Yeah.
They deserve it. I mean, that's a great company, great guy.
I'm sorry, Brian, for cutting you off. Go ahead.
I'm done. Go ahead.
As reviewers and content creators, we're obviously not doing this for the money. I'm doing it to get a comment and to have people say, hey, and have feedback, right? These guys, like they said, they're just kind of doing it. If you know me or Brian and you win one of these products, shoot one of us a DM if you don't want to shoot the brothers, or shoot the brothers a DM, because I think that's a great way to give back to them. They're giving you product, and just a quick word on what you feel. And I'm assuming, gentlemen, you want honest feedback regardless.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So give them a line of honest feedback, or give it to one of us and we'll share it with them.
We would appreciate that.
And we do that with each other too, because it was a long time coming on this beard butter. We kept kicking ourselves for a long time between us.
Yeah. So we've kind of settled on one there, and a lot of these folks in live, I know that they've tried some of us, and we've chatted in other places, and excited to get some of our product out to them. Joe, I've got two things for you real quick. One other scent we had, Brian, was also the Sasquatch Country. It's always available. That is more that piney note. Now, it's not like pine like you think about pine. It is. It's got pine. It's got a combination of multiple firs in there. It's got some other woods, and so it's a bright, woodsy scent.
It's a little brighter than like straight pine. It's not straight pine.
Because of you guys, I would try it, but the pine is my 4-letter word in the beard community.
You love that?
No, we didn't.
Doesn't like it.
That scent is like taking a ride with Clark Griswold in the Woody Wagon out to get yourself a Christmas tree.
It really is.
The Canadian one, that one sounded really good to me.
Yeah.
Peter and Sam.
When's this one coming out?
What is that? Old fashioned.
Hey. Well,
that's pretty good.
Before we get to the giveaways, we do have a couple things in store. A couple of things that we're working on that will be released this spring.
Are you sure we should talk about this?
Ask
Jeremy,
me
is it all right if we talk about some of this, bud?
If you say it here, maybe he'll have to.
That's
pay
right.
for it.
If it's live, it's in the interwebs.
I just want it known that I was the one pushing Matthew to get this butter going.
That's true. That is true. A couple of things. Old fashioned. We are actually coming up with some new scents. We're going to be doing a flight of beard oil. They're not. A lot of places do samplers. This is a little bit of that feel. You're only going to get 1/3 of an ounce or 10 milliliters, but it's going to be a combination of 3, 4, or 5 different scents, and they're all going to kind of filter and kind of have a story with them. So we're talking about some old fashioned, a little coffee, a little tobacco. We've got some other whiskey and bourbon blends that we're working on.
Now I'm hearing the music.
We got a lot of things that are in development.
Where's my fire emoji? Where's my fire emoji?
That'll be coming in soon.
Brian and Joe talking about more swag. We're also working on some more wood things for displays for beard oils, but we'll not say anything else about that yet. But that'll be coming out of the Amish mills here soon.
Yeah,
That's great.
So keep homage to that cedar comb and everything else we've got. Joe, one question we had, but also within that is this idea that we're going to create scents in honor of you guys. So probably not a true collaboration yet, but certainly kind of something in there for the both of you. And so we got Poet Joe. I know what Brian likes. We've chatted enough. I know what that guy likes. And his new collaboration with Iowa Beard Company is something to smell. But Joe, what is it you like?
Wow.
I mean, you said we don't like this, we don't like this, but I like yours. But what is it you like?
Challenge, Barbado.
Come on, you picky diva.
Okay, I'm very much in the dark. Okay, I like spicy, like incensey.
Julie.
Patchouli. I'm okay with patchouli. Patchouli's good. I like all whiskeys, bourbons, brandies, alcohol. Every alcohol I've tried has been good. I like tobaccos. God, I like good
drinks or beard oil.
Beard oil, but so not so much. My big no's are the pines, the mints, and I'm not a big coffee drinker, but I have smelled some good coffee since. So I've got to back down from the coffee now. So really just the pines and the mints, and I've got one or two of those from you guys, but really more dark and fruits. I do like fruits and florals. I'm not as big a diva as emo. It's just that as emo suggests, it's just that the pines and the mints are diva territory.
Okay, well we're working on those. We've got a few in the lab right now. We're going to tinker around.
Nice.
We'll get that out.
What does a banjo smell like? That's what we have to figure out.
Banjo.
The scent of a banjo.
It doesn't smell like money. It doesn't.
Smells like a resonator.
Yeah, all joking aside, you asked for transparency earlier, Joe, and Brian, this about us is this is something we do to spend time together. We're not co-business owners. We don't think about it that way. We're best friends. We hang out on the weekends every weekend. Obviously, we talk beards. Sometimes we don't. And so that's really the excuse. And so like today, I was telling my wife, I said, well, honey, it's time to go to work. And she said, stop calling your beard business work. And she's right. This isn't work. We're just hanging out, having fun, sharing some laughs. And it's certainly fun to get to do that with you two, as well as everybody else that's joined us. So,
yeah, it was great meeting you guys officially,
I agree. We talk a lot about food too.
I like talking about food. Yeah. I like eating it better. How about a giveaway? What do you guys want to do?
Yeah, there we go.
We'll give it away, Matthew.
Hey, let's give away some butter. What do you think, Brian and Joe?
Butter. Sounds good to me. Someone's winning out.
Is that okay with you?
It's fine.
Hey, we've got some candy stripe right here that we'd love to give away to a lucky viewer.
You're gonna love it.
Yeah.
You got a question for him?
Yeah. So the question is, tell us who wrote Stardust and is associated with Indiana University.
Ask that one more time. You were breaking up a little bit.
So there is a famous person that grew up near Indiana University associated with the song Stardust.
Okay.
Trivia question.
Stardust. So that's the trivia. First one.
Can you see the comments? Because I don't know the answer.
Yeah. So
Okay.
First one answer that. First
wins. Answer, we'll send that out. You can send us a DM once we announce who you are, and we'll get that out to you just as soon as possible. But
we're so close.
The idea, the Indiana University idea is, that's where we are. So we are just south of Bloomington.
Who got it?
Camo Cam.
Hoagie Carmichael.
Camo Cam.
Hoagie Carmichael. That's right.
Nice, Cam.
Good work, Cam. Now he's just in Southern Indiana too.
Yeah.
No, Larry Bird.
Oh, is he? Is that where he is?
No, not Larry Bird.
He did not.
My mother grew up 2 doors away from Larry Bird.
And not that Stardust, not Neil Gaiman.
Not Neil Gaiman.
No,
Hey.
the song. Good job.
Hey,
Good
Neil
job on
Gaiman
the
is a
Neil
great
Gaiman.
writer. One of my favorite writers.
That's extra points from Joe and then mentioning Gaiman.
Awesome. So congratulations, Camo Cam. Make sure you get a hold of these guys and they'll get you some butter out. Cool. Have we talked about all the scents? I think we've talked about all the scents.
Camo's about 40 minutes away from us.
Yeah, he's not far. Camo, shoot us a DM with your address, and we'll get that out to you this week.
He was all over that Hoagie Carmichael. You guys said
He
it.
was on it. He's been studying his Indiana history.
Yeah, yes.
And we're going to do another giveaway here in just a minute. I want to see if there's anything else you guys want to talk about.
Bearded Zebra has a question here.
All right, cool.
Are your scents all essential or some fragrance? So talk about your whatever you can with your blends.
It's a combination of both. So we do use a lot of essential oils, and we like to add those into the mix, not only for the scent profile, but also for the benefits of them. Certainly with beard oil, we like them strongly scented, but we use all the EOs to help bring a lot of benefit to that as well, not only for your skin and your beard, but also just the aromatics. But certainly we enhance those scents with some fragrance oils as well. Now we buy, one of the things that we committed to is the premium grade options of all the oils, from the carrier blends to the butters to the beeswax and to the fragrance essential oils. We certainly
spend the extra money to get the good stuff because we don't want anybody having any stuff we wouldn't wear. So we test and wear for weeks before we adjust and send it out, because if it's not good enough for us, then we don't want anybody else wearing it either. So we're doing top notch as we can. Yeah,
and matter of fact, true story. We live it in that fact that we subbed a different oil one time when we were making a batch early in, and it was not the quality we wanted. So out it went, and remake we did, and so that's how important the quality is to us. And so, and certainly we work with everyone as far as customer service and satisfaction go. So we want to interact with you and your thoughts, feedback, also ideas. If you're looking for a scent or you think you want a scent, shoot us. We do some custom blends too. It's all off book, if you will, but we certainly will customize anything and tinker around with it.
That's great.
In fact, that could be our second giveaway. Is give us
give us a
scent
profile.
idea.
I'll tell you what.
And then we'll draw names out of a hat.
That's a good idea, Dad.
Brian, I'm playing in this one. I'm going to quit being co-host if I can play in this one.
Yeah, absolutely. So throw out a scent idea, include a name if you want, and then just a profile or a combination that you think you would love. There's a lot of different beard companies out there. There's a lot of things you've probably smelled, but all of us probably have something in the back of their mind like, I love that. And the other thing that we all do now is when we smell something good, we often then go and try to figure out what that is. So like a candle or an air freshener. We're all the time like sniffing and reading the label.
Yeah, and on that, so let's say they DM us on Instagram by midnight tonight, and then we'll take whoever has entered, and we'll draw a name.
Okay, there you go.
That's great. So give us a follow on Instagram, send us a DM with the name and kind of a scent description. And then you let us know, and then include in there what choice of butter you want. We've got the Candy Stripe, which is that sweet peppermint aromatic blend. We've also got a Malone's Irish Pub in the butter. And then we've also got the Canadian Outpost in a butter. So include your name, your scent description, and then which choice you want of those. And we'll send that out. We'll announce that tomorrow.
Oh, and by the way, Austin here does all of our labels.
Oh, yeah.
And he's been going to a little bit more of a minimalist look to them.
I love them.
Really sharp.
He was a graphic designer in a former life.
I love them. All right, so guys, both brothers and audience, Brian and I both have seen a million bajillion giveaways. And I'm not just saying this because the brothers are on here tonight. That is a killer giveaway. You don't know how badly I want to time travel an hour ago and go into the chat so I could get that giveaway. All right, so a custom scent that you have designed, a one-off that Brothers Groom will make for you.
Absolutely.
You follow them. You DM them the scent, the particulars of the scent. I see a couple of you are already doing it in the chat. Emo, you son of a gun, you actually have to DM this one. Emo wins lots of giveaways. And Emo, if you win this giveaway, I'm coming to the West Coast and hunting you down. All right, because there's no way you're winning this one, pal. So that's what you got to do. DM them with those ingredients. They said you could give them a scent name if you want. That's fantastic, guys. All right. I love that.
But there you go.
That'd be great. We appreciate you participating. We appreciate you listening. And certainly we're here to hopefully give you all something,
Yeah.
That's
Joe,
cool.
I'm wearing a lavender orange butter that Matthew's been working on right now that's not going to hit the market for a little bit. And it makes me want to lick my beard.
That sounds good. That sounds
lavender and orange.
Brian, I know you like citrus. You're going to love this when Matthew gets it done.
Nice. I'm not a fan of lavender, but I
I'm
found
not
that usually.
either, but he's hitting it in there.
Yeah. Like I say, I never say never anymore.
Camo Cam says something about anything that isn't Purdue Boilermaker related.
You got it.
Attaboy.
or Notre Dame.
Or Kentucky, UK. I can't.
Yeah, because you guys are in the south part
Hey,
of the
but if you're
state.
paying any of those, we support you. We'd love to sell you anything. Yes.
I will say this, though. Emo does have a really compelling design there with peach, leather, mango, and roses. That sounds like an interesting little mix. Maybe I do want you to win, Emo. I don't know.
That's the way to do it. You have everybody else send in ideas, and you find one that works, and then you create it yourself.
One of the things that we run into, Joe, when we talk about this, Brian, you and I've chatted about this too, is the butter game of a beard. And it is a game changer when it comes to my personal experience. And so there for a long while, I didn't really know the difference or in the fact that we needed it. But certainly once you start using it, you notice the softness. Particularly, I love butter at night. So I'm a big time nighttime butter guy. And so lather that in and then, get the Z's and you wake up feeling good.
Yeah, it just adds in the last piece of the puzzle. If you're already taking care of your beard with the good conditioner and oil and all that stuff, and the butter, something about the butter at night just adds that final piece of the puzzle. And I've had mornings where I now wake up and could just almost walk right out the door without my beard looking crazy. And that was never like that before I started using butter.
And I'm hearing more and more long bearded guys are doing away with balm and going to butter. And Andy told me this last summer when I visited Chattanooga. He's down in the deep south in Georgia. He says that humidity crushes a balm. So they don't even, a lot of guys down in the really humid hot areas won't even buy a balm. They'll buy the butters too.
Yeah, their balms just turn into goop.
Yeah.
And little of this butter will go a long way. There's such a wide market of butters out there and some great butters from different places. But you see 2 ounces, you see 4 ounces, you see 8 ounces, you see poured, solid, whipped, all kinds of different things. But ours is that 2 ounce solid state butter. Like you said, Joe, it's a little liquidy in there.
I'm afraid you might have trouble when the weather heats up, but since it's not whipped, it may just go right back to form.
Yeah, it'll sit up.
Down. Just stick it in the freezer for 30 minutes.
Yeah, I certainly encourage when you get it, you can refrigerate it for a little while, and then put it out on the counter and let it warm up, back to room temperature. That's the recommendation that we give.
Yeah, that's what I did because it came in rock solid. It's been cold here in Pennsylvania. It came in rock solid like a bomb, left it out, no problems. So you're right, Brian. I imagine the transverse would be true when it gets hotter.
Yeah, especially as the season turns to summer and things warm up and, especially on those carrier trucks. So.
Yeah, it's got to be careful. Make sure it doesn't run out the sides.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't want to waste any.
Yeah, definitely not.
Yeah.
Anybody have any final words, or if anybody in the chat has any final questions before we end it here? I've had a great time getting to know these guys a little better and hearing some of the stories.
Brian, we appreciate you being so gracious to us and welcoming us into the community like this, you and Joe both. We just appreciate you guys.
Yeah, and most of these guys know I'm not big on doing these kind of live streams for necessarily for the fun of it, but I felt like after talking to you guys that the folks needed to get to know you a little better.
Yeah,
you're good guys to know.
Totally agree. And maybe I want to get you guys on beard therapy. I behave my nicest when I'm somewhere else, but when I'm on my live, I'm not housebroken, baby.
All bets are off.
All bets are off. I'm not going to
watch therapy. We'd be honored to get together anytime, Joe.
Awesome. We will make that a date somewhere down the road.
Yeah, I always make Joe keep it PG for me because my ears start burning. But anyway, I appreciate everyone who's joined in. Hopefully you enjoyed it and you put in some orders and spread the word about the Brothers Groom. Joe, always good to get to do some stuff with you. I always kind of rack my brain on trying to think, what else can I do with Joe? Because Joe's got the energy that I don't have. And brothers, it was great having you guys on. And if you guys will hang around when we end this thing, we can chat for just a minute. And I'm going to log this thing off. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, thank you.
guys. Take it easy.
Let me end this thing.